everybody, this is B-Bomb. This is a replay from the GK Cup. Of course, WDC is going on, but Luminous kindly informed me that the Chinese want to hold on to their replays for a while, so decided to cast something in the meanwhile, and here's the buzzkill himself, Luminous. What's up,
What's
man?
up, guys? Don't call me
Oh,
Buzzkill when I'm so excited for this game today. We have DK versus WE, two teams that are participating in the WDC, so hopefully we can actually gauge how these two teams will be doing from this game today.
yeah, so are you ready to unpause?
I am ready whenever you are, B-balling.
Okay, three, two, one, unpause. I can't even take you seriously.
Why? I thought
Don't.
this is a serious cast. I'm being very excited right now to amp up the energy level, and we have Lycan being banned and Silver. What do you think about that, B-balling?
Silver, of course, popular in the Chinese scene, and Shadow Demon being banned. And Silver, of course, can lane well, can carry, can push, yeah, yada yada yada. Everything that's been said in your cast 800 times because you have a Chinese fetish like no other. So, Shadow Demon and Lycan, what do you think about the brothers, the twins, being banned?
I'm so glad they're not in the same game because I did cast one, and I definitely do not understand why Shadow Demon would suddenly turn into a wolf form and move 522 movement speed. And thank God both of them are banned. They're really strong heroes. And God, I'm just really excited, super excited from this game. Not too sure if you could tell from my tone right now.
Oh, I think everybody can tell. As you see, Batrider being banned by WE, and that's, of course, a very common ban in the Chinese scene, but it can also be a respect ban to ROTK, my new favorite player, who is a boss Batrider player. And, of course, he is also a flamer, so that
Wait,
means...
isn't it XP that flames?
Huh?
Isn't it XP?
No, XP doesn't. ROTK.
No, it's XP that flames. They.
Oh,
Okay, whatever.
yeah.
Whatever.
I thought Batrider was the Batrider player was. But anyway, he wrote a mini guide to Batrider. You can check it out on ghostofgamers.net. And Batrider being banned, shuts down. Or he shuts down a lot of heroes. And Lich being banned, thank God. I hate that hero so much. So,
Yo,
yeah.
man.
Do you have any background information on DK and WE besides the DK utterly dominating every single tournament they've been in?
No. Well, actually, WE has 2009 and actually, yeah, 2009 and what's the other guy? 820, right?
Yep.
In the entire GK tournament, they weren't actually coaching WE. In fact, they were casting. Both of them were casting live. So they were this WE team is kind of on their own. And trust me, they can't really be on their own. So
Oh,
it's kind
snap.
of sad.
Well,
Well, no,
hopefully.
because generally with the coaching of 820 and 2009, they still kind of perform subpar, but now they're kind of on their own without the coaching. And I think coaching do matter, to be honest here.
Yeah, it
Especially
definitely makes...
two superstar pro captains.
Yeah,
You
I
know?
think you're definitely right in this case, but hopefully they'll be able to put up a good fight. But like I said earlier, DK has just been dominating every single tournament in the past 3 or 4 months, and they are just on top of the world, burning. Every team he goes to. It takes a while, but eventually they just start winning. And so Invoker being first picked, and Invoker, he's a funny hero in that he's definitely first pick in banworthy, but he doesn't win too much. Why do you think that is?
Uh, I I had this theory, 2 3 months ago. But the theory is hard to support when you have such low, I guess, cases, such low pool of data. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Such low, yeah. And that's because the Invoker never gets picked. And my theory was, whenever you pick an Invoker team, the team that you pick it around with is all low DPS heroes. A lot of time you pick it with a Weaver. A lot of time you pick it with a Spectre, which doesn't get a lot of DPS until very, very late game. Invoker isn't a high DPS hero himself, but he eats up a lot of farm that could benefit another higher DPS hero. And because you pick such low DPS team, you really just depend on Tornado. You depend on kind of cutesy, long duration, long range spells, which is nice for ganks. But for a drawn out team fight, teams will be able to tank that. And I think because of that, Invoker haven't had the success that we think he will. And again, he's going to eat up a lot of farm. He doesn't really gank that early because, again, he needs a lot of level as well. So he's a tricky hero to lane. You definitely have to have a very strong game plan when you pick that hero. But, I mean, he's so versatile, so he fits into most lanes as well, most teams as well.
Right. I also have a theory myself in that because, like you said, he does take up a lot of farm and a lot of experience, and he basically goes for utility items. He goes for Django, Force Staff, Phase Boots, which for a hero that takes up a lot of farm aren't really the best items, I'd have to say. So maybe they have to be a little bit more aggressive with their item picks. Go big or go home. But
Right.
Invoker comboed with Chen. Chen will give a lot of early game DPS and give himself a lane to work with. And of course, DK is probably going to pick a support to lane with the Chen in the latter stages of the pick. But Winter and Weaver, two very mobile heroes, and just going to be extremely annoying to gank. Can, of course, have a lot of range with Swarm, with Chikuchi, and Power Shot, just range in terms of clearing creep waves and stuff like that. So, very, standard picks on WE's part.
Yeah, I'm actually very curious on the why they picked up Weaver against Invoker. Of course, it depends on how both hero is farming, but Invoker is one of those hero that could be a natural Hex or Orchid carrier, and both those two items are quite standard after the utility item. After that phase sweep 4-staff Django, they generally switch to Orchids or Hex depending what they need. And against a Weaver, I think Orchid will be a strong choice. Now, again, earlier I said it really depends on how the two heroes farming. If the Weaver is farming really, really well, he get Radiance, and then he goes BKB right after that, and your Orchid becomes obsolete. Or he could go Mantis out. But if the Invoker is, out farming the Weaver by a lot, then that means that he's going to get up the Orchid really, really quickly, and you're, never mind the BKB, you're not even going to make it to the Radiance. So that's really curious, and it's actually a kind of a big gamble as well, because Invoker is one of the better heroes to go against. The Weaver EMP Tornado will shut down your low mana pool. He has a range to catch up to you. A 4-staff Orchid is all he needs to kill you outright as well. So Invoker that's why he's such a often banned hero, because he counters basically half the utility, half the pool. So, we'll see if that's going to be the case today.
Yeah, maybe a lack of coaching because, the two coaches are casting at the moment. And we see Venture Spirit, who's obviously going to be jungling with the Chen, as the Chinese still have to do. So expect to see maybe two other solos. So it'll be interesting to see what DK picks up to combine with their jungle Chen and Venture Spirit. And we see Puck being picked up, and Puck has really been seeing a lot of resurgence. And he is very mobile. He can do a lot of havoc in team fights. But he's also been banned quite a bit in Chinese games. I'm not really too sure what the reason is, other than he's just a really solid hero overall.
Yeah, I mean, if right now, if you look at the combination that Scourge got right now, they are so hard to kill. You might be able to kill one or two, but then you're using a lot of your stuns, you're using a lot of your resources on them, and all the meantime, all the other guys are running around you, and I guess that's another reason why Puck is a lot of times picked or banned in the Chinese scene. He gets you that long lane basically. He can put him solo mid. He has the laning versatility. He's fairly item independent for most long lane goes. Unlike a Clockwork and like a Windrunner has to pick up, phase boot, Vanguard, mech. I'm just listing items that would, that they both get respectively. A Puck, all he needs is just a Blink Dagger. That's it, and he will be semi-effective throughout the remaining of the game. He nukes pretty hard. He's one of the few heroes on a long lane that could go after your supports without too much fear. A Windrunner and a Clockwork, if you think about that, if you try to go after your support, they will eat stuns. But for a Puck, the fact that he has phase, the fact that he has orbs, he's very mobile, and he can pick off your low HP supports very easily. But he will have a little bit of difficulty dealing with the Venge and the Chen because of their natural tankiness through the high armor or the healing. So I wonder if that's his game plan. But so far it looks pretty good. They're picking themselves again into that Invoker though. Invoker, I have to guess it's going to be the Orchid because it's going to be a very, very strong counter to all three of these heroes so far.
And we see Dark Seer being picked up, and Dark Seer has actually fallen out of favor quite a bit recently, and he's still a really strong hero, but he doesn't really have anywhere that's too safe to lane with. Of course, he can lane the hard lane, but just noticing from the other picks, all three of those heroes need a lot of experience, so Dark Seer can be relatively safe if he doesn't face too hard of like a babysitting lane. But Vacuum, Ion Shell just makes him a pain in the butt to deal with. And Dark Seer, of course, synergizes quite well with Invoker, setting up his AoE barrage beautifully. So, really
Yeah.
nice, interesting pick overall, I'd have to say. And Witch Doctor being banned, of course, that is the support of choice for the Chinese these days. And Spectre being banned, along with Necrolite and Broodmother. And I don't think the Sentinel would have picked a Necrolite necessarily. But
Maybe they're gonna pick into a hero that Necrolite really dominates. Necrolite pretty good against the Weaver. Considering that he has a tough nuke that could just bring him from half HP to down. Weaver, a lot of times they want to save the time lapse, so all the way to the end, maybe that they're afraid that Reaper's side will be in danger of that, or will be really easily killing the Weaver. I actually want to extend your point of the Dark Seer a little bit. I really love the pick here. He, like you say, he synergized very well with the team. Don't forget Iron Shell plus Cold Snap is one of the most game-breaking combo there is. You're not going to run from that. And also, if you look at the Central Scourge lineup, we were saying that it's really mobile. Windrun, Sakuchi, and the Puck Illusory Orb. But what you could do against that, you outrun them with 522 movement speed. And don't underestimate Surge. We're definitely going to see a lot of Surge saves from this Dark Seer. And that Surge has such ridiculously low cooldown that you could get it off multiple times in a team fight. You could use it defensively to run away or offensively to chase when you have the advantage in the team fight. So I will really look forward to this Dark Seer doing a lot. I think he's mostly going to go top solo. We're going to put Invoker mid and most likely destroy bot. Invoker and Destroyer might swap the lane, though. We'll have to wait and see. So far, yeah, really weak HP as we see CM and Enchantress being closed out for WE. Not too sure I like the Scourge picks. They have maybe 25 minutes to win the game, or they're not going to win this game at all.
Right, because Obsidian Destroyer just scales so well into the late game, especially, I mean, Weaver, he goes BKB, but usually decides to tank up a bit first, and that really delays his BKB, and by that time, Destroyer just becomes a pain in the butt to deal with again. But we see Enchantress on Crystal Main obviously jungling, and Destroyer looks like he's just going probably bottom, and yeah, Super is playing the Invoker, so he's definitely going to be soloing mid. So ROTK playing that Dark Seer, one of my favorite heroes as well, so ROTK just rising up in my esteem, and I'm a little disappointed because Dark Seer just synergizes so with Gyro as we've seen in my last pub game, so what the heck,
No, he
guys?
really does. He really does.
We should have sent the replay to DK. Maybe they would have picked up Gyro instead of OD, who's much more boring.
OD is ridiculous lately. Actually moved him up on the hero tier list because he's doing so well in the pro scene lately. In terms of laning, I think it is kind of what you and I were expecting: double jungle on both sides, 3 solos. So it's going to be mostly a very, very boring early outside the game if the 2 jungle don't gank.
Well, both the Chen and the Enchantress have smokes.
Have to smoke, but it's kind of obligatory. Like you just pick one up. A lot of times I actually seen them just hold on to it for maybe 3-4 minutes and then come out of gank. But yeah, you could always use that early smoke to go for a first blood or something like that. But I think both teams are looking for quick level 6-6, especially WE. I think they're really strong mid game, and if you could get your high levels on your Enchantress and the Crystal Maiden, you could dominate really, really heavily. So.
Yeah, and we see Windrunner going against Obsidian Destroyer, so Burning is actually taking over that mid-solo lane, so a little bit of change in plans, and Obsidian Destroyer will just have a field day against Windrunner. Windrunner usually lanes pretty well in the mid lane because, he has decent base damage, really good animation, can push the lane relatively well and get runes, but Obsidian Destroyer just destroys him, quite honestly, because of his Astral Imprisonment, sucking up intelligence, and just reducing that harassment by a bit. But for the early levels, Chan should be okay.
Yeah, I mean, Destroyer, the OP thing about him is not only is he taking away your mana, he is also taking away the base damage of Windrunner. And a lot of times, as the laning phase gets, like 2 minutes in the game, 3 minutes in the game, as the laning phase goes on and on, you get a easier time to last hit because you get more damage, you get more used to your attack animation. Not against the Destroyer. As the laning phase goes on, you lose more damage. So it gets harder and harder to last hit for him. So he really have to maybe work to a quick bottle, maybe use power shot to get farm. He's gonna get completely out harassed. You see 3 and 3 right now on the Destroyer, 2 and 4. It is pretty even right now, but once Destroyer climbs in levels, this winner is gonna have a tough time.
Right, and we saw Puck taking so much damage. Magic Missile combined with Cold Snap just being harassed off the lane, and meanwhile Dark Seer is having a difficult time as well, but he can just run up to his CM. And meanwhile mid lane, Burning dies.
No, trying to get them back, but Chen a little bit too slow on that. Early levels of Holy Persuasion does take a little bit of time. On the top lane here, we have the Dark Seer having a lot of trouble. There's a swarm. They're gonna make a go on ROTK here. ROTK gonna get used is a surge and put himself in a little bit safe spot, but you can see that he's really, really in a tough time. And 12-20 is really free farming at this point up here on the top lane.
And meanwhile, I miss another kill as Puck dies with a nice gank with the Chen. They haven't even used the smoke yet, so just a little bit of poor map awareness, I have to say, on WE's part, because they do have a couple wards. They have, no, that's actually DK's ward.
No, yeah, they have no wards in the jungle, so basically a gank party for the Chen. Lone DD right now handling the Chen. I wonder if they're going to be jungling or just mostly ganking. It seems like it's going to be jungling. The Vengeful Spirit hitting level 6 is so important. Same thing for that Chen. And it looks like Vengeful Spirit has stacked up. Yeah, she's going to pull and deny the creep wave and get herself a little bit of XP as well. Critically, she's only a level 1 though, so I'm a little bit surprised. Chen, by the way, is a level 4.5, so this is really a solo jungle. They really want that Hand of God, which, if you think about it, against a Scourge lineup, it makes sense, because Scourge is really nuke heavy. And if you get a Hand of God coming in, it makes a huge deal.
And Puck is just being harassed right off the lane, but like you said, actually, it's surprising because Puck is 1.5. He did die to a nice Chen gank, and he just picks up level 2 right now, but Vengeful Spirit keeping up with the Puck, not really expected these days, as he nicely dodges the Magic Missile with a well-timed phase shift, and he will be okay. It looks like Enchantress and CM going to be just fine. Let's see what CM's going to go for more. She hasn't picked up any Brilliance Aura. No, she has one. Sorry.
Yep.
I'm just so used to seeing Devotion Aura with Brilliance Aura. I'm like, oh, Basilius, but the Wild can keep giving that Devotion Aura, and she's picked up level 1 of the Brilliance Aura. Pretty standard these days, as she burning just 12-7 against 11-7 for Chan, so he's actually keeping up relatively well.
At least for now. Crystal Maiden is coming around. She does have a haste rune. I guess she's going to haste all the way bot to get a kill. Not too sure whether that's possible, considering that you only have a level 1 Illusion Orb to back you up, but Crystal Maiden is journeying across the lands just to place down a ward to help out a little bit. Gonna place also a Sentry Ward to block off a camp. I guess that's not too sure whether that's needed at all, but we do see the Invis Room coming in at the mid lane here. I'm pretty sure that Burning, if he was paying attention, he would have seen, they do have a ward there, yeah, so they definitely will know that CM has picked it up. And here we go. Are they going to still make it go on the Burning? Burning, by the way, has 500 HP or so. Women are doing a fairly good job in terms of trading hits. I think they're waiting for that disruption. Now that the disruption is gone, they should be able to make it go. No, they're going to just play it really safe.
She's lurking. Jaws music incoming, and she does drop a nice freeze bite, a nice shackle shot, chain stunning him perfectly, but he does imprison himself. And the Enchantress stomp did miss, and another missed stomp. Burning, just getting lucky. A little bit of fail micro by the Enchantress.
I was totally gonna do dun 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 dun, and then we saw the missed stomp, so I was like, okay, never mind. We'll see. What's a really fail song? What's a music that coordinates?
Benny Hill, just that standard, chase scene / fail theme song. As we see Dark Seer, without the Crystal Maiden harassing so much, is even levels with the Weaver, and that might be a little bit of trouble because this Puck is just being hurt down so hard. He's not keeping up in the level. He's only not even level 2.5 yet, and meanwhile this Invoker is already level 6, farming really well, and this Dark Seer also keeping up. So aside from mid lane where Burning died once, Sentinel are faring quite well, especially with that high level Chen, already level 6 just now. And
yep, let's see what they're getting in return though. Sometimes when you lose one lane, you always get something back, and let's see if it's going to be worth it. We do see Enchantress, it's a healthy level, she's hitting level 5, and considering that she's only being 1 kill, that's not too bad. Once she hits level 6, I'm going to see her to be a little bit more active. The Crystal Maiden's at level 3.5, that's not too bad comparing to the Vengeful Spirit, I say. Vengeful Spirit, also 3.5, so never mind. The kills are even. So it seems like it's just a really good job in terms of dominating the lane. Basically, the Venge just walking into the Puck and be like, okay, you can't come into my lane. I'm still getting a little bit of EXP when I'm next to my creep wave, but Puck, you're not getting any of it. So really good harassment from the Sentinel. And they're going to be in trouble because you got to keep in mind Scourge have to win this game mid, or they're not going to win it at all. So they're going to have a little bit of trouble as you see Invoker really quick. He gets his phase speed already. He does have 3 Wex. I'm pretty sure he's maxing Wex as we speak here. And he's going to be a speedy demon.
I forget that little mouse. Speedy Gonzalez up in there. As we see Vengeful Spirit and Invoker with Chen, they're just going to push his tower. And they honestly don't give a crap what this Puck is going to do because he's only level 3. And meanwhile, Dark Seer is faring quite well. So the only shining spot for the Scourge, as we see Burning being ganked, a nice Frost Nova combined with a hasted Windrunner and a Shackle Shot. A Hand of God is being dropped, but Burning is definitely going to die. A nice Thunder clap by the Verbolg, and Burning does take a hit. But this tower is just being put under so much pressure, and Weaver can't really push against the Dark Seer at all. So even though Burning is sort of dying, Invoker, Chen, Vengeful Spirit already getting a lot of levels, getting a lot of tower gold, and that will definitely make up for Vengeful Spirit's lackluster level count. Just picking up early gold has boots of speed, might be able to pick up maybe an urn, but it looks like mid tower was also taken in exchange.
Yep. Scourge made the best of what they can, which is pushing down mid tower. They really couldn't win down to bot lane and then stop that push. So you know what? Let's just get a kill mid and get a power push down. That sure will give Burning a little bit of extra room to farm, but it gives Burning a little bit of thing to think about as well. Now now the Enchantress could roam a lot more aggressively past the mid river and past the mid lane as well, and gank him even more so. So he's got to be a little bit worried about that. Also on the bot lane here, when the puck was being pushed upon, he really can't do too much because he has no levels. And whenever you use that Luger, you're trading off. You know, it's a level 1 nuke that doesn't do any damage, but also it's an escape mechanism. So if he's trying to use that nuke to counter push, he has to stay really, really far back. That means he's not getting EXP under those nukes as well. So Puck is just not having a good time, but with 2 powers being pushed down, he is just trying his best to level up to 6 as soon as possible, and then farm up his Blink Dagger. And so far, I haven't seen him miss a last hit yet in his lane, so he's doing a fairly good job right now.
Yeah, and Sentinel, although they are faring quite well, they have a couple of towers ahead. This Weaver just free farming it up, already over 5 CS a minute, has almost 50 in 9 minutes. But do you think, just a quick question, do you think this Enchantress should be a little bit more aggressive in tower pushing? It actually looks like that's exactly what they're doing, as they force Dark Seer out of the lane with the Weaver harass. Actually, it wasn't really forced out of the lane, he's still at near full HP. But it looks like they're going to take this tower in exchange. But do you think Enchantress should have been a little bit more aggressive now that she picked up the Arcane Boots and pushed down this tower, even though it gave Weaver a lot of free farm?
I definitely think it was a trade-off. She was not being aggressive, but she wanted to level 6. So after with the level 6 is picked up, she's almost 7 now actually. She's going to start being a lot more aggressive. And here we go, let's see who's going to get the tower. Tower is picked up, there's the EMP. If the Weaver gets hit by that EMP, he's done. He actually runs the other way and he's going to just bypass it altogether. They got a free tower in exchange of a couple of neutral creeps that they're completely fine with that one. But here comes a counter push from the Sentinel lineup. Do they have what they need to defend this? Weaver picks up an invisibility rune. It's going to try to snipe Obsidian Destroyer in the mid lane. I don't think that's going to be possible. There's a single teleportation coming in, but Burning, really good response, going to just turn back. And, well, that was a little bit of failed gank, and they are going to lose the top tower.
And that just shows the caliber of player Burning is. I mean, he's been ganked so many times, and he's died twice, but he still is almost at 50 CS, and this Chen is dangerously close to level 7, and once he picks up that 3rd creep, there'll be a lot of trouble with the low-level Puck, you know, defending these massive pushes. But Windrunner and Weaver can fare quite well. Crystal Main's still level 5, so, you know, not too much happening. Although, actually, in terms of Chinese games,
That's a lot. That's a lot happening. Should have good.
This is like kung fu movie, Jackie Chan, and all we need is Chris Tucker to make this hilarious cop buddy movie. So,
Yeah, I could be a Jackie Chan. Let's hear some Chris Tucker
I don't want to
voice.
offend anybody by doing a terrible Chris Tucker impression.
But one thing I want to point out here before I let you do your Chris Tucker impersonation is Burning. By the way, he's a destroyer without any escape mechanism, and you know, a minute ago here, he was just roaming the river. He was trying to go to the bot lane. He was actually harassing the Puck. And a lot of times as a carry player, you're like, yo, no, I don't feel safe going so far across the river. And he knew he could do that simply because his teammate was pushing on the top lane. You know he was going to draw a lot. His teammates would have been drawing a lot of attention on the top lane as well. So he doesn't need to basically fear anything on the bottom side of the map. So because of that, he's going to go harass the Puck a little bit. Got to keep in mind again, the only thing that's really going to turn the game around is good ultimates from the Puck to set up good team fights. If without Puck farming that Blink Dagger, he's not going to do too much. So he's going to go bot, harass a little bit, get a little bit more farm for himself. And 11 minutes in with 2 deaths, he's up to 60 creep kill, and that's really, really good, considering that you have 2 deaths.
That's just how good Burning is. And we see Enchantress picking up that point booster, and Vengeful Spirit is still level 4, so that might be a little bit of trouble. Not getting that swap, as she is now jungling with that Chen as they decide to smoke up. Let's see if they get anything done. Probably just smoking up to farm more, farm faster. But no, Vengeful Spirit is splitting up from the Chen. No, just more farming. I mean, Scourge can play this game for now because the Weaver is just getting absolute free farm. Although Burning is actually keeping up with him, and Weaver did finish the Vanguard, didn't go for the Hood, which is probably a nice choice because that Arcane Orb just melts right through it.
Next level tactics, man. Finish one camp, smoke to the next, walk faster. Can't handle that threat.
Exactly, as I see Enchantress smoking up as well. Puck also turned level 6 recently, so Puck is just really having a hard time as we see. No, looks like a lot of positioning as Shackle Shot catches Chen, Dream Coil catches 2 heroes, Frost Nova, Waning Grit, a lot of silences, and nice chain stun to get down the Invoker. Invoker does die. Nice sentry ward by W.E. Lee as we see Chen being chased upon, and Chen is going to go down as well. Really nice play by W.E. and Venture Spirit is taking so much damage, but she will be just fine. And looks like this Dark Seer is being harassed quite a bit. And with 2 heroes down and an Enchantress picking up a lot of creeps, Chen dying as well. W.E. looking pretty good right now.
Yeah, I wonder if we're going to transition this into a push. It looks like they can't really do so. The respawn time of the 2 supports falling down is really quick, and they're going to just turn back and get themselves a little bit of farm. But like that team fight really gave themselves a little bit more advantage, and in that we saw a glimpse of Enchantress's DPS power, and that's kind of what you get when you have a quick level 7, quick level 6 of that Enchantress. I'm glad she was able to impede us very quickly. The micro of her creeps. Pretty solid as well, though missing 2 stomp earlier, not such a big deal. And I was looking at the Destroyer throughout the fight. I was wondering what item he's going to pick up. Are you going to go for a big, quick Hex to kind of deal with the, get yourself a little bit more stable against the Weaver? Or are you going to go with the quick Force Staff to deal with the Dream Coil? I think he's chosen the quick Force Staff, which is not a bad choice at all. So pretty good.
Yeah, it gives him a lot of survivability, and he has been getting ganked in. It's interesting to note that although Invoker picked up a really fast level 6 with that tower, he's only level 8, and he's has to farm for a lot of this mid game to make up that lack of levels. So that's a key problem with Invoker. But another thing to note is that Burning is farming quite well, level 10, and so is Dark Seer. And I think those 2 heroes, if they can survive for the mid game without losing too many towers, the Sentinel will be alright, even with Invoker not leveling as fast. If they just get that Dark Seer to survive so much of the battle, just chasing incessantly with that Surge, and just do so much damage with that Ion Shell and Vacuum, and getting that Burning farmed up, it'll be a nightmare to deal with for the Scourge.
Yep, Sentinel definitely striving for the late game here. They know the Invoker not going to do too much before level 12, 13, 14. Same thing with the Dark Seer, and same thing with the Destroyer with farm. So basically they're sticking one hero on each single lane, and they're not really too worried about being ganked, and in fact they have been getting ganked. That last team fight in the mid lane here was definitely a huge indication of that, but that's the reason why they opted for a quick level 6 on that Chen. They did not double jungle, as that was the standard thing to do. They know that they're going to be basically turtling, and having a quickly, highly level Hand of God will be important. So they're like, okay, let's get Hand of God up, and let's just keep farming. We will lose a couple of heroes, but this is kind of like 2010's 2009 strat. Did I make any sense? 2010 the year, and yes. 2009 the player, which is basically we have 3 farmers. You could gank 1, but we'll farm with our other 2. And guess what? Even if you gank or carries, we still have Venge and Chen farming in the jungle as well. So Sentinel are trying to economy up. Like, this is
Warcraft 3.
Warcraft 3, man.
Yeah, Warcraft 3 Adventures might be incoming in the near future, as we see. I'm a little disappointed with this Weaver's play. I mean, he's farming like a beast, but come on, man. Get some balls. Really, I mean, you had those boots. You weren't really needing those treads. You haven't been ganked whatsoever. You've just been mostly dealing with the Dark Seer, and you had a pretty high gold count, and then you just got power treads, and now he's back up to 1,300 gold. So, I would have liked to see a faster relic, quite honestly, but maybe that's just me, getting that relic as soon as possible.
I think he's definitely really afraid of that Destroyer, and even if he does pick up the relic here, he's, really in danger of getting hit by 1 stun, a Sanity Eclipse, and, he's a dead end.
Yeah, but he has a Vanguard.
Oh, Vanguard doesn't... Oh, yeah, I guess so. It does give you a really nice HP. And here we go. We have a 5-man push coming up on the top lane here from the Scourge team. A lot of creeps utilizing their spells. They're enchant on Burning right now. Burning might be in trouble. No, they're going to just chase him away and trying to use those creeps to tank. But really, that is not going to work, as all these creeps gets mowed down so very quickly by Destroyer's Orbs. And there goes your push. I think 5 guys gather up on the top lane for Scourge. Yep. So they wasted a lot of opportunity time. That means someone else is not farming on mid lane. Someone else is not farming on the bot lane. You gotta keep in mind, again, Sentinel going for the late game. They're basically farming the jungle. They're farming all 3 lanes. Sooner or later, Sentinel is gonna outfarm the Scourge, and I think we might be reaching that point fairly soon. As we see, Weaver is the only farmer on Scourge. Meanwhile, on Sentinel, we have 2, 3, even 4 farmers.
Right.
So it's not looking too good.
Barely level 7, and Invoker going for that Orchid. So this Puck just not being too effective, and this is the problem with Puck when he gets shut down so early on in the game. He has a rough time, and he's really a mid-game hero when he's most effective, so if you don't really play him as effectively as he could, he just doesn't become too much of a factor. As you see, Winner deciding to get some farm, only level 9 herself, trying to finish up that mechanism, and looks like Sentinel, they can play this game all day.
Yep. and they're leading the way they're playing right now. It's really boring and it's low action, but real fast, I want you to, if you can, please pull down the menu and look at the levels here. We have 4 kills being led by WE against 1, but look at the levels: 8, 6, 10, 11, 9 to 11, 7, 8, 6, 9. It might not seem like it, but I actually think the Sentinel team has a level advantage.
No,
The levels,
you can definitely see that.
right, and it's Scourge that's leading the kills. A lot of times you'd be like, oh, looks like the nice Dream Coil gonna set it up. I think all of them could just run out of Dream Coil. They could be fine. There's an EMP Tornado, and here we go. We have the Sakuchi. No, just a Swarm being dropped down, and that's a lot of spells being dropped off. No one dying yet, and actually Senso looking for a little bit more. I'm completely surprised by the decision. I would think that they would just gonna go back and farm up because the creep wave is pushing on the top lane here. A lot of creep pushing on the bot tower as well, but they really determined to get this mid tower. And I don't think they really need to take the engagement, but it's going to give ourselves a little bit of nice action, which no one could complain about.
As you see Storm being dropped, Tornadoes, EMPs just being massively dropped. I'm surprised to see Dark Seer just not running in, throwing out a vacuum, but their goal was the tower. They got the tower. Now they can go back and farm.
Lovely.
Yes, lovely. Hopefully the WDC replays with the Navi and EG will be
They're going to be exactly like this, so...
No.
It's a mostly Chinese tournament, and especially in the Chinese matches, it's going to be a lot of positioning, a lot of highly strategical play.
No, I'm expecting some freaking Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon action in these WDC replays. So some poorly subtitled matches and just floating, levitating all over the place. That's what I expect the Chinese people to be like in real life.
That's exactly how we are at real life.
Just everybody is an innate master of Kung Fu.
Exactly.
As you see, Weaver, let's check out his farm really fast. In 2K, and, that's the problem I have with the strength treads. No action. Just be more aggressive in the item picks, especially since you've said so many times they are a mid-game team. So, not much aggression, which is standard.
It's pretty standard. They are going to try to force a little bit of aggression going to the mid lane here. They do sense the Invokers on the top lane, but he does have a TP. Scourge feeling very confident, and they kind of mow down that tower. I really like the way that Scourge is pushing right now. They're pushing with the Weaver up front, they're pushing with the Puck up front, and all 3 of the supports staying really far back. And they're almost baiting the Sentinel. Hey, jump in at me, jump in at me. If you do jump, we're going to just mess you up with Shackle Shots, with their AoE damage. And Sentinel knows the better of it, and it's going to turn back. They are smoked up right now. Here comes Destroyer, being a little bit aggressive, but he's going to force half himself out and dodges a Dream Coil. And now they are in complete trouble.
Dark Seer in so much trouble, but Hand of God manages to save him. And a lot of action being thrown on. And Weaver is actually the first one to fall, completely unexpected, by me at least. And now with Dark Seer giving chase, this is the power of the Sentinel team. They just outlast you with Hand of God and chasing in massive damage. And looks like Zippo actually died as well. And Winrar is in a lot of trouble, trying to juke, but she's definitely going to fall down as well. And yes, LDD managed to pick up that last hit, and Invoker just goes walking away. So Weaver just being set back so much, and looks like this top tower will be denied. So really a scattered team fight, which definitely favors the team with the Dark Seer, I have to say.
Yep, they are definitely sensing the trouble right now. Burning fully realized that he was completely fine. He actually went ahead in that last team fight and baited. And with the Destroyer doing that, that's something that you don't see every day. He noticed that there's only that one thing that's going to stop me, a Shackle Shot. So as long as I don't get hit by that, I could force staff out of everything else. And he basically did. There was a Puck that daggered in, and he baited out a Dream Coil on him. And after that, he forced staff out, and you're not going to run away from the Sentinel lineup that has Surge. So, they just basically clean up. So, WE is getting baited left and right. They got to be very worried about these team fights because the score is 3-5, but to me, it is Scourge that is falling behind in terms of the level, and they're falling in terms of behind in gold as well. Tower check, it is fairly even, but I think it's the level is the more important thing here. Weaver, by the way, has how much gold? Check, it's 2,400. That definitely in the last team fight definitely set him back a little bit. Yes. It's not looking too good for WE right now, to be honest here.
DK just showing that they are the more experienced team at the moment, and like I always say in a poor pun, DK are just master baiters, just owning it up. And that got chuckle from Luminous, so my life is now complete. So I don't really know what else in life there is to look forward to now that I made Luminous laugh.
Okay. It's more like, is it laughing with you or laughing,
Burning 2,000 gold. He's probably going to pick up the Hex at the same time Weaver picks up the Radiance, and that is really unexpected considering how well this Weaver is farmed, but going very defensive. 109 CS for the Weaver, meanwhile Burning 139, so never mind. Burning just out farming, and he's definitely going to pick up the Hex before the Weaver picks up the Radiance at this rate. And, you know, 4-staff Hex on the Obsidian Destroyer before Weaver even picks up the Radiance.
Yep, and
Weaver's kind of screwed.
That's the extent that he's getting out farm, and not only is he screwed from the 4-staff Hex, he's also very screwed from the impending Orchids that's going to be coming his way. Invoker, as expected, is going to be going Orchid second as this kind of item here. He does have his second Oblivion Staff very soon. I suppose he does have to go for it right now. He'll be picking up relatively soon. And right now, Dark Seer getting so tanked. He's got the Vanguard who are going to be working for Pipe next as well. And I simply do not think Scourge has a DPS to bring down this Dark Seer anymore. I guess if he gets focused fire by 5, but Hand of God's going to come in. The swap's going to come in to save him out. So right now, Scourge is getting into a trouble that they're going to sooner or later is going to get out tanked, and it's not going to be looking good.
Right, and Obsidian Destroyer actually, one of the things about Scourge's lineup is that they can get tanky with their tank items, Enchantress being naturally tanky. Weaver usually goes to tank, Puck hard to kill, but you can't really tank up too much against Obsidian Destroyer because Enchantress Untouchable combined with the Healing Wish just get nuked down by that Arcane Orb, and Weaver just melts in a matter of seconds, especially with that. And look to that plus 446 damage. Of course, that was to the creep, but still, massive amounts of damage being thrown out by Burning, and sensing their advantage, Sam will decide to push.
Yep. I'm glad that they are pushing when they can and not taking 8 hours later to do so. There's a Hand of God. That was a little bit premature, so maybe the Scourge could take this instance and come in. They're going to just turn back. I don't think they could have made a go, but it's really, really risky, and they're going to turn back right now. And Scourge, despite being the earlier game team, has fall down to their last single tower on the top lane here, and losing all map control, and looks like Sentinel might be going for the Roche Pit.
Yep, and they will definitely have to get it. Actually, they're transitioning to bot lane. Looks like they want to find this Weaver, and, you know, I don't really think that's too necessary. He does have the gold right now for the Relic, but Burning, key point, 300 gold away from his Hex, and he's going to be picking up that really soon. So.
Yep. And here comes a quandary you have. Even when you pick up the Hex, or pick up the Radiance on the Destroyer, it's like, well, now I have the Radiance to run in and try to do some damage. You really can't, because the Hex is waiting for you, the Orchids is waiting for you, and that's kind of what I meant earlier. It really depends on who's farming well in the early stage of the game. Is it going to be the Hex that's going to come get you quicker, or are you going to get your BKB after Radiance quicker? And I think we have the answer here in this game. It's going to be the Hex and the Orchids being purchased a lot quicker, and it's not going to be looking too good for this Weaver. He's still farming. Like, look at him, 142 creep kills, 25 minutes in. Any other game you will say that's really good farm, that's exceptional farm, but can't keep up with Burning, and that's the more important stats to point out. Burning, by the way, 163 in 25 minutes.
And he was ganked. He was ganked a lot.
Yep. So, I don't know what to say, man.
You can say that Dark Seer, Imba hero.
Okay. Is Dark Seer tier number 4 on the B-balling 0 tier list?
Yeah, because he synergizes well with Ursa, and Ursa's number 3. You know, if Viper strikes you, or Dark Seer can just, you know, surge you out and hit that Viper. So Viper no longer number 2. But anyway, in the completely unrelated note, as you see some, you know, group jungling therapy going on. Looks like
probably promoted by Dr. Phil, man.
Yeah.
Let's stay together.
Take your aggression out on creeps rather than heroes. And wow. So let's just go into some endgame analysis. Where do you think WE went wrong? I think, you know, the laning was just abysmal, rather, because just looking at the mid game, like, you know, since see Sentinel smoking up, you know, Windrunner and Puck were just so low leveled, and you can't really rely on an Enchantress against an Obsidian Destroyer to go. As you see, a nice 4-staff in Hex. Windrunner barely manages to survive, so a little bit of a wasted effort, and that just shows, you know, DK just throwing out damage, just being very intimidating. They are the bullies of Chinese Dota right now.
And they're going to be bullying in the mid lane here. If there's not going to be team fight going on, then I'll kind of talk about where I thought W went wrong, and yeah, it looks like Sentinel is going to transition top. I think W, the mistake they made was they had an earlier game lineup, so they gave him that gave himself a couple advantage. You could definitely be pushing with it. You could definitely be farming more aggressively with it. But the thing is, they had an early game lineup and they did neither. They weren't pushing, nor were they farming well. And what I mean by farming aggressively is basically you farm the same way that DK has been farming this game. You farm the jungle, you farm every single lane, and if you ever see someone that's encroaching into your territory, you kill them. And that's the advantage you have in an early game lineup. They didn't do that. They were trying to get some 4-man ganks going on while the Weaver was farming, but DK just had too good map awareness for that. They just, and you gotta keep in mind, DK wasn't traveling as a pack of 4 or 5. That wasn't the reason they weren't getting ganked. The reason they weren't getting ganked as DK team is because they somehow knew where WE was at all time. And W, neither did they push, neither did they farm well, and they basically threw away their early game advantage and got basically nothing in exchange, in my opinion. Trying to get the Roche back. Can they even kill the Roche before the DK team come knocking on the top lane? I guess they're going to get it.
Yep, they got it, but they did lose another tower. That just gives Sentinel so much map control, and Weaver, of course, with the Aegis, he just can get, Invoker finish the Orchid and the Hex, just so much damage being thrown on it, and that wall evolution is actually really annoying. As you see Dark Seer being taken down quite a bit with that Swarm and Shikuchi damage and all of that. But looks like a Dream Coil managed to catch in. Are they going to follow up?
No, I don't think. Yeah, Weaver coming in right now. He gets completely silenced, chain stun to death. He does have the Aegis going to be coming back with 5 seconds. Crystal Maiden's going to go down as well. Very low HP. It's a Scourge lineup. Weaver is alive. Stuns are done. Can he do enough damage? No. Burning critically, saving a Hex just for him. Not using it on any other heroes. A good recognition by Burning. If the Scourge is going to win the team fight, it's going to be done on the back of that Weaver. So saves a Hex for him. Right when he comes back, there's a quick Hex. There's an immediate kill on him, and that's going to be the top racks for Sentinel. DK showing exactly, they know exactly what they need to do to win this game. Here we go, a really huge dive for that Enchantress. Enchantress not going to live to tell the tale, as Burning going to mop up that kill as well.
This is the stompiest 8-5 game I've ever seen.
Man. Yeah, you're right. This is Zombia's 8-5 game. You would think, hey man, 8-5. Score is really close. Yeah.
You can come back, but right, they can't because Enchantress bought back. Weaver died twice. I don't even know if he got the time lapse off. And Dark Seer just being a pain in the ass, just chasing all over the place. Standard.
Destroyer OP, man.
Destroyer
Strong
OP.
hero.
Best hero in the game. On your tier list, not mine.
If you guys don't know what we're talking about, do check out the hero tier list. That's going to be under the commentators.com. Not a tier list being ranked by my opinion of what I think each hero is the best, but a tier list being ranked by what the pro player picks. So the more frequently they're picked.
Also, disregard the rank of B-Bon because B-Bon suggests much more balanced tiers.
Yes.
And clearly, the reason why Scourge is losing.
It's because they don't have.
Where's the
no Mini Viper, no Bat Rider, no Ursa.
No, they don't even have a Mini Viper Crow. I mean,
okay.
So disappointed right now.
Yeah.
As to see more farming, but at least they took a Rax.
Yeah, no, they're basically saying Sentinel right now. They're like, you know what, we got this game won. If you want to be like full Asian about this, basically you save for buyback, and you go for a push. Don't even get item at this point because after Orchid, after Hex, that's all the item you really need. Buybacks basically for the hey, somehow the Hail Mary push from Scourge got us a couple kill. We're not going to lose the game from it. But no, they're going to just buy items, and they're going to go for the win right now. There's really nothing WE could do about it anymore.
So are you saying you're a bad Asian? Because you always play mad aggressive. You're a bad Asian. You disrespect your people.
Man,
you shame your ancestors.
Haven't you seen those shiny pups? They are so aggressive, it's not even funny.
They are aggressive. Yeah.
Yeah.
They are mad aggressive.
That's how you truly play pub Dota, man. Be aggressive as heck. But right now, not burning. 12-20 trying his best to farm up for either buyback or BKB. I think BKB is far more effective in this stage of the game because extra life doesn't matter too much, as we saw in that last engagement with his Aegis. So, but is he close to his BKB? Nope, he is not. He is in W about to go on their knees.
Brought down to their knees.
That sounded really
because
wrong.
Because of the masturbators. Alright, I think we're done now.
Yeah, Sentinel taking their sweet time, pushing this one up, checking a level real fast. Level 10 Venge, level 2 Holy Knight, going for that
Level 2.
level 12. Sorry, level 12 Holy Knight, going with that axe stick. But it doesn't matter if you finish or not because don't need it. Too strong.
Burning BKB. I mean, if they couldn't kill him before, now they just sort of have to watch as they all die. But just slow playing it, which I think they can do because, you know, they already have the racks. Weaver's farming it up, like you said. But he can't really do too much at this point. They just kill him.
Yep. So
So, I mean, you know, I think a little bit outpicked. I mean, Invoker didn't get
a
too many
little bit,
levels.
a little bit.
A little bit.
You give away Invoker, destroy Chen.
Invoker didn't do anything.
No, I mean, well, yeah, he really did, but
Oh, Vacuum sucks in so many heroes. Stanny's Eclipse. Dream Coil can't do anything. Weaver does buyback, like you said, but he can't do jack.
the destroy action might be a little bit trouble here as he's dropping down to 200 HP, but the Weaver gets scouted out by a Sentry Ward. He used a time lapse to survive here, but actually they might get a kill Invoker. They do, and they're trying to work for the Dark Seer as well, but Dark Seer is just so tank at this point. Taking focus fire from 3-4 hero, still survive at this point here. But no, it's going to go down to the Weaver. Weaver giving chase to the Chen. He's going to grab himself maybe a triple kill here, or at least a double kill at the very least. Does that matter, B-balling? No.
No. Nope. Because that was all predicated on the Weaver buying back, and you can't buy back forever next to that cooldown.
Nope.
So.
And I definitely do know, because, you know, me raging in pubs, flying back. Not
Rage
just defending bot tower.
Standard. If you don't know what you're talking about, check out the infinitely superior version, Pubtastic Adventures, rather than, you know, the inferior rip-off version called Pubbing with Looney. So.
Yo, man, I do actually play a lot better on the Pubtastic Adventure series. I don't know why. I don't know why.
Too much pressure when you're recording.
No, it must be it. The Fraps recording does give you a little bit of lag, and you know.
So 20 kills in 34 minutes. This is like, you know, bloodbath in terms of Chinese Dota.
It really is. It really is. I don't think we're doing justice.
No, I mean there's a lot of aggression. They took down so many towers so fast.
Right. But it's just the way that they're doing it. It's just so methodical and calculated that it's like, oh, okay, they took down 2 people. Like we fully expected that. There's no like, WTF? What just happened? Which was a really nice, because I was casting a lot of HFGL games, and then I casted the Hasio Cup, which was 16-year teams. It was so nice to see like 20 kills in 8 minutes. It was actually legit. But it's just a different playing style.
Are we gonna see the Casio Cup next month?
That is a good question. We will have to wait and see, man.
We need your support, guys. As we see, MC Destroyer picking up playmail, yada yada. Why is this game still going on? Double playmail, owning that swarm. That swarm is actually doing a lot of damage.
It really is. I mean, what are you gonna do with it when you eat the swarm and there's a dream call on top of you? That's kind of this combo that Scurry's got. It's kind of a team fight AOE combo that doesn't do too much AOE damage, but it gives you a lot of stuff to deal with. You deal with the dream coil, you deal with the swarm, and your HP level drops and drops and drops. And here comes Venge, surged, but
swaps the Windrunner. Windrunner dies in 2 hits, literally. As you see, Weaver forced the time lapse, and Crystal Man dies as well. Nice focus firing by the Burning. And it looks like Enchantress going to be next in the fall. Burning, just going unstoppable, which he really is at this point. And that's the game.
I like how you call it focus fire when he's just right clicking.
Mad skill, yeah.
Look at Burning focusing fire on that Windrunner. See, he's just right clicking, but each hit he does actually feels like you're being focused by 3-4 guys because it's a destroyer. How many times have we seen destroyer just being unstoppable in the late game phase? Simply because he's a natural hex carrier. He deals more damage than any other hero I can imagine with this kind of item set. And he has good utility-based item and skills through the imprisonment, through the, essence aura and all that stuff. And he has an AoE nuke. Like, it's pretty sick.
Yeah, he's pretty ridiculous now that I think about it. But yeah, I wonder if 820 and 2009 they're gonna give their team a stern talking to after this match. disappoint. So disappointed by WE. As you see, GG finally being called at Mega Creeps, and Weaver leaves the game. So outpicked, outplayed. That's all it really comes
Both,
down to.
both, yeah.
So yeah, well that just shows you, DK WDC. Get ready.
Yo, man, betting money on that number one.
Yeah,
DK
seriously.
looking strong right now.
And actually, spoiler alert. DK first round gets Navi.
Closing my eyes. La 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 la. Sorry.
DK versus Navi first round, so should be fun to see how fast Navi loses. I hope Navi wins because actually DK, they're a pretty good Chinese team. They play aggressive for Chinese Dota, so well
Any
played by
predictions?
DK.
Any predictions for WDC?
Predictions are that I think
IGC.
they're gonna come out on top.
Okay. All I care is the Chinese team winning. Not a fanboy or anything. Just saying.
Not being a fanboy, just being a fanboy.
Yeah.
So yeah, look forward to WDC replays. We're gonna actually try to cast all of them.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, when they're released. So get ready, guys. So thank you all for watching. Any last words, Luminous?
Nope. Thank you for having me. I apologize that I was not able to carry my enthusiasm. Just only 2 minutes into the commentary, but hey.
It's okay. What was it? It was like 4-1 for at least 15 minutes.
For these 15 minutes, you can't really be enthusiastic about that.
So yeah, thanks to you all for watching, and have a fantastic day.